Hey peeps! So I just wanted to make a little bit of an update / care video for my amazingly beautiful Pilea peperomiodes, or as it's otherwise known as the Chinese money plant, which seems to be a common name for a lot of plants. For some reason, a lot of plants seem to magically bring you money, but yeah, that one's still out for debate. So it's also known as the friendship plant, which is kind of a cute name because, as you can see, it's a prolific pupper or reproducer, and it's nice to share. So yeah, that's where the friendship plant name comes from. It's also called the UFO plant, the pancake plant, or pannenkoek plant if you're calling it by its Dutch name, because of these beautiful, well, they should be flat, but this one's a little bit wonky, but for the most part they're flat, round, cute, beautiful little foliage leaves they've got here. So a little bit about the care, because I don't think I've actually gone too wrong here with how I've been looking after it as a houseplant. And one big thing to take into account when you are taking care of your houseplants is where are they native to and what their natural environments are. So from what I understand with this plant is it's native to the Sichuan province in China, if I'm not mistaken. And that's a quite mountainous region, and from what I read and understand is these guys are found quite deep in the forest, so they enjoy some humidity levels, not overly warm temperatures, but I would say between 15 and 25 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but Google knows, so have fun with that. And they enjoy some dappled, bright, indirect sunlight. So I've been giving it the best I can with the conditions I've got, and this is the result. So at first I actually just had it sat on my table here next to my Monstera plant, and this is a large southeast facing window, so it gets some very bright indirect sunlight there. At the moment it sits on top of that little table over there by the window, because it's now coming into winter, and it's been there since the beginning of autumn, so it doesn't get a lot of bright in-your-face sunlight. And for a while I did have it in a west-facing window, and you can still see here on these leaves, do you see those little yellow dots there? That's often a sign of it's getting too much light. So once I noticed that was becoming a bit of an eyesore on the plant, as you can see here on a few of the leaves, I decided to pull it back and move it to its spot on the table there. And since then it's been thriving, and it's doing okay by the window where I've got it now at the moment. It has been for quite some months now. And as you can see, the leaves aren't completely perfectly flat, but for the most part they are very, very beautiful and aesthetically pleasing and quite uniform. So that's the light that I've been giving it. And if you notice in here, so we're going to move on to soil and water, that I've got it in quite a chunky, well draining mix with a stone pot which is absolutely covered with calcium deposits. Now some people actually like this patina look, but I'm not digging it personally, so come the springtime I think I'm going to repot this guy. I mean, I think it's overdue. It's been in this pot for well over a year now. It's done well, but I think it's time for a change. So when I repot it, I'll also do a bit of a propagation video, because as you can see, it's got a lot of pups to give, and I don't want it to overgrow too much, and also I do want to share the love a little bit. So anyway, I've digressed from the watering. So with watering, it's in the well-draining soil with the stone pot, which is breathable, so water evaporates quite fast. And on average, I give water about once a week, usually by clockwork. And if I tend to wait longer than that, would say a week and a half, you see how perky and upright these stems are that are holding the leaves? Well, they will just kind of droop and it will look a bit sad. And once it gets to that point, you're like, okay, time for a drink. And I give it a drink and then it perks back up within a few hours and it's fine again. As for temperature, as I said, we're at between 15 and 25 degrees Celsius, so it's about normal room temperature in here, so it seems quite content with that. And other than that, it pretty much takes care of itself, so it's a very easy, fast-growing, rapidly reproducing plant. And you know what? I couldn't ask for anything better in a houseplant. I don't know about you, but I'm all for low maintenance. I don't like fussy drama queens. That just effort. If that's your thing, no shade, but it's just not for me. So yeah, another problem I've noticed with people having with this plant is the excessively curling leaves. Now, as I said before, these leaves aren't exactly flat, but they're pretty much okay. And I think the fact that it's a little bit curly and not completely flat, I mean, like on the pups here, these ones seem to be a little bit more evenly shaped, but I think this slight misshapenness here is just down to a little bit of it going a bit too thirsty for a bit too long, or maybe a lack of humidity, although it is in the kitchen area and near the bathroom, so it does get a fair share of humidity, so I think that helps a bit. But I think it's just, with the case of this plant, I think it's just, nothing's perfect, but this is as close to perfect as I think I can get it. But usually when you get the extreme curling, the leaves will curl in a couple of ways. And the first way is when it does a more extreme, I don't know if you can see this, where it will curl upwards, but it will become almost like a cup shape. And that usually, if I'm not mistaken, will tell you that the plant isn't quite getting enough water. So when it cups up, it's kind of like the plant's way of trying to collect and recoup as much water as possible, because it's not getting what it needs from the roots. Another way they will curl is they will dome and kind of curl underneath, and I don't have an example of that leaf, but it will just curl under itself and become the opposite of a cup. It will be a dome. And in those cases, I believe that's down to a light issue where the leaf is trying to get as much sunlight as it possibly can from the very limited light that it's getting. So if you notice your leaves doing that, then just try and adjust the care or the watering or the light that it receives, and hopefully it will start to regulate itself. Now, another thing is with the new leaves here, and as you can see, the light green ones here, this is completely normal. Once they start popping out and unfurling, they are always a little bit misshapen, but that's more down to them coming out, unfurling and developing properly. So just be a little bit patient, and before long, all these leaves in the middle will grow big and beautiful, and they'll flatten out and not be so curly. And I think that's pretty much it for the care. Now, as I said before, in the spring I will be doing some propagation, and these plants are so easy to propagate because let's see, I'm not sure how many pups I have, I've lost count, but it is absolutely crazy for producing them. There's some little ones here, and these are the subterranean pups, so it'll kind of send underground runners, and they'll pop up here and start growing and spilling over. And other times they will actually grow directly off the stem, and there's some, I'm not sure if you can see those. God, it's crazy. So you can see here, there's a couple that are coming off the stem here, but they're very, very tiny. So that's the other way it will produce pups. So another thing that I've noticed is it follows the light a lot. I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to find my train of thought. There's so much information on this plant and my brain keeps skipping everywhere. Anyway, so following the light, I rotate this every few days because otherwise it will just bend over and look very uneven, and I don't know about you. If you like that effect on your plant, then fine, you know, let it follow the light. But if you want it to be a little bit more upright, although mine isn't exactly perfectly straight, because you can see there I've had to put a little stick in there to support it, but it's as straight as I've managed to get it. I've been pretty disciplined with the rotation of this plant to get this effect. So every few days I just turn it a little bit and it straightens itself out. And yeah. So as I said before, I think that's pretty much it on this plant. And that's the update after 2.5 years. I'll link the other videos below if you want to see it as it grows, when it was much smaller when I first got it. But yeah, if you give it some love, give it the right care, give it the right conditions, this is the beautiful plant that you will be rewarded with. Give or take some differences, because, you know, no two plants are the same. But yeah, this is what you can get if you love it just the right way. Anyway, peeps, I think I'm going to wrap it up there, otherwise I'm just going to keep waffling on, and you're not here to hear me waffle, you're just here to see the plant and hear how to care for it properly. So on that note, I'll wrap up. Thanks for watching. As always, it's much appreciated. Much love, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.